I'm Ahmed, a regular guy living in a quiet suburban house on the edge of the city. Like any protective father, I installed a high-quality security camera in my backyard 2 months ago. My daughter Ayesha, only 8 years old, loved playing there, and I wanted to keep an eye on things while I worked late. The camera was supposed to bring peace of mind. Instead, it opened the door to pure terror. It started small. Late at night, the motion sensor would trigger for no reason. I'd check the app and see nothing but empty grass, and the old swing set gently moving in the breeze. Must be the wind, I told my wife, but deep down something felt off. One morning, I noticed the footage from 3:17 a.m. was missing. Not deleted, completely gone, as if the camera had been asleep. That night, I decided to record continuously and review everything in the morning. What I saw made my blood run cold. A tall, shadowy figure stood motionless at the far end of the yard, staring directly at the camera. Its face was hidden in darkness, but I could feel its eyes piercing through the lens. I froze, the frame. The figure was closer than the night before. My heart pounded as I realized. This wasn't a glitch. Something was visiting my backyard every single night I didn't sleep. The next day, I packed the camera and headed straight to the local electronics repair shop, hoping a technician could tell me if the device was faulty or if I was losing my mind. The repair shop was a small, cluttered place run by an older man named Mr. Khan. He had fixed my phone before and seemed trustworthy. I explained the issue, glitchy recordings, missing clips, and handed over the SD card. Just check if the files are corrupted, I said casually, trying to hide my fear. Mr. Khan plugged the card into his computer and started playing the footage. At first he chuckled. These cheap cameras always have bugs. But as the timestamp hit 3 a.m., his smile vanished. The shadowy figure appeared again, but this time the video was clearer. The figure stepped forward slowly. Its movements were unnatural, jerky, like a broken puppet. Then came the worst part. The camera's night vision suddenly brightened, revealing a pale, distorted face with hollow eyes that seemed to stare straight at Mr. Khan through the screen. He paused the video, his face turning white. This isn't normal, he whispered. He zoomed in on the figure's hand. In its grip was something small and shiny. My daughter's favorite red hair clip, the one she had lost in the yard weeks ago. How did it get there? The figure had been collecting things from my home. I felt sick. Mr. Khan kept watching, fast-forwarding through nights of footage. The figure got closer each time, sometimes pressing its face right against the lens, leaving strange smudges that looked like fingerprints from wet, decaying skin. My backyard wasn't just being watched. It was being claimed. Mr. Khan suddenly slammed his chair back and stood up so fast it fell over. His eyes were wide with panic. You need to leave right now, he said, his voice shaking. Take your card and go. Don't ask questions. Just get out of here. I was stunned. What are you talking about? Tell me what's on there. He refused to look at the screen again. This isn't a camera problem, son. That thing, it knows you brought it here. I've seen things like this before. Old cases from villages where spirits attach to objects. This one is angry. It's been feeding on your fear. If you stay any longer, it will follow you home through this footage. Leave, right, now. His words sounded insane, but the terror in his eyes was real. I grabbed the SD card and ran out of the shop, heart hammering. As I drove home, my phone started buzzing with notifications from the camera app, even though the camera was still at the shop. Impossible. I pulled over and opened the live feed. The figure was standing in my backyard again, but this time it was holding the camera itself, turning it slowly toward my house. It smiled, a horrible toothless grin, and whispered something I couldn't hear. But the subtitles in the app auto-generated the words. You brought me closer. I raced home and burst through the door. My wife and Ayesha were safe, but the backyard felt different, colder, heavier. I checked every lock, every window. That night, I stayed awake with all the lights on. Around 3 a.m., the power went out. Complete darkness. Then I heard it. Soft footsteps in the grass outside. I grabbed a flashlight and peered through the curtains. The figure was there, taller than before, moving toward the back door. It wasn't a ghost in the traditional sense. Later I learned the horrifying truth. This was the spirit of a man who had died in my house years ago, betrayed and buried in the backyard by previous owners. He had been watching my family, growing jealous of the life we lived in his forgotten grave. The figure reached the door. I heard scratching. Ayesha woke up crying, saying a tall uncle was calling her name from the window. I held my family tight, praying for daylight. At dawn, I dug in the exact spot where the figure always stood. After hours of work, I found old bones and a rusted locket with a photo of a family that once lived here. I gave the remains a proper burial at the local graveyard and performed the rituals my elders recommended. Prayers, salt barriers, and burning incense throughout the house. The camera has been quiet ever since. No more missing footage, no more shadows. But I never look at old videos again. Sometimes at night, I still feel watched, but now I know how to protect what's mine. If you have a security camera at home, check your footage tonight, because some things in your backyard are better left unseen. If this story gave you chills, like and subscribe for more real-life horror experiences. What would you do if your camera captured something impossible? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. Mr. Khan kept playing the footage, his breathing getting heavier. In one clip, the figure stepped right up to the camera lens until its pale, rotting face filled the entire screen. Its eyes were completely black, no whites at all. Then it slowly raised a hand and placed Ayesha's red hair clip on the lens, almost like it was offering a gift or a warning. Mr. Khan paused the video. His hands were trembling. "This is not a person," he whispered. "This thing has been inside your yard for weeks, learning your family's routine." Suddenly, Mr. Khan slammed the keyboard and jumped back from the computer. "Leave right now," he shouted, voice cracking with fear. "Take your card and get out of my shop immediately. Don't ask me anything else. That thing knows you brought the footage here. It can travel through the video itself. I've heard old stories about spirits that attach to cameras. This one is angry and hungry. Go. Run." I begged him to explain more, but he refused to even look at the screen again. He pushed me toward the door, sweating and terrified. I grabbed the SD card and rushed out. While driving home, my phone started blowing up with notifications from the camera app. But the physical camera was still at the shop. With shaking hands, I opened the live feed. The tall figure was standing in my backyard holding the camera, turning it slowly toward my house. Its horrible toothless smile appeared on screen as it whispered, "You brought me closer. Now I'm inside." The words appeared as auto-generated subtitles. My blood turned ice cold. I reached home in record time, locked every door and window, and gathered my wife and Ayesha in the living room. We sat with all lights on. At exactly 3:17 a.m. the power went out completely. Then came the sound, slow, wet footsteps on the grass getting closer, closer, until they stopped right outside the back door. Scratching started on the wood. Ayesha woke up crying, "Baba, the tall uncle is calling my name from the window." I grabbed a cricket bat and stood guard, heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. The scratching turned into knocking, slow and patient, like it knew we were inside and had all the time in the world. As soon as the sun rose, I took a shovel and started digging exactly where the figure always stood. After 2 hours of hard work, I found it, an old skeleton wrapped in dirty cloth and a rusted locket with a faded family photo. The previous owners had murdered and buried this man in the backyard years ago. His restless spirit had been watching us, jealous of the happy family living in his forgotten grave. I immediately took the remains to the graveyard, performed the proper Islamic burial rituals, and asked the imam to pray for the soul. Back home, I spread salt around the yard, burned incense, and recited protective verses throughout the house with my family. From that night onward, the camera stayed completely silent. No more alerts, no more shadows, no more missing clips. The nightmare was finally over. But even today, when the wind moves the swing set at night, I still double-check the locks. Some things captured on camera are never meant to be seen. And once they notice you, they never really leave. For the first few days after the burial, everything was peaceful. No alerts, no strange sounds. My daughter Ayesha started playing in the backyard again, laughing like before. My wife and I finally slept through the night. I even thought about deleting all the terrifying footage. But something deep inside told me not to. The silence felt too perfect. Like the calm before another storm. On the 7th night, the camera triggered at 3:17 a.m. again. My heart stopped when I checked the phone. The screen showed only darkness at first. Then a faint whisper came through the speaker. The same voice from before, but softer now. "I'm not alone." I froze. The next morning I reviewed the clip carefully. In the corner of the frame, a second smaller shadow moved near the swing set. Whatever I had buried, it had left something behind. I went back to the exact spot and dug deeper this time. Just a few inches down, I found a child's old wooden toy and tiny bones. The murdered man wasn't alone. His young son had been buried with him. The little spirit had stayed hidden until its father was put to rest. Now it was awake and looking for a new family. That night Ayesha woke up saying a small boy wanted to play with her in the dark. I knew we weren't finished yet. I couldn't take any more chances. I called my elder brother and an old imam from our village. Together we performed a stronger cleansing ritual in the backyard at midnight. We lit a fire, read holy verses loudly, and circled the yard with salt and protective herbs. As the imam prayed, a cold wind suddenly rose. The camera live feed showed both figures standing together, watching us with empty eyes. They slowly faded as the prayer grew stronger. The temperature dropped so much that frost appeared on the grass in the middle of summer. Then, complete silence. The next morning the camera was completely normal. No more alerts, no missing files, no shadows. Ayesha plays freely now, and our home feels warm and safe again. I finally deleted every single old video and replaced the camera with a new one. But I never forget how close we came to losing everything. This experience taught me one important lesson. Some secrets buried in our homes should never be disturbed. If your security camera ever shows something that doesn't feel right, don't ignore it. And never take the footage to just any technician.